Welcome back to EPL eKasi. Game week 4 is in the books, and what a shake-up it's been. Big moves at the top, from captains delivering the goods to managers plotting their way up the table. We've got all the highlights, banter, and bold predictions lined up for you. So buckle up, hit that like and subscribe button, and let's dive straight into the standings. Right, Chipsters, let's move to Game Week 4 recap. Now, I don't know where to start. I really don't know where to start. The league has shaken up quite a bit, Chipsters. We are going to see some dramatic shifts. But is it going to be at the top? Is it going to be at the middle order? Or is it going to be at the bottom? Let's just jump right in, eh? Now, with the league standings, as you guys can see, Teta is holding the first position with 248 points. Mulemo bagged a solid 96 points, which is really good. That's a really solid number. That is really good. I think from next week for Game Week 5, I will start adding for this slide the average and the highest points that were earned in the game week as a whole. But you guys can let me know if you want to see as a whole, as in everyone that's playing Fantasy League, or just with EPL eKasi League. Either or, everything works. Now, wait. Let's actually try and see where's TM Dragons. Okay, TM Dragons has unfortunately trickled down to number 4 spot there. Emmanuel only bagged 40 points and is currently sitting there with 218. So the Dragons, guys, have been diminished down to number 4 spot, but we don't know for how long, you know. Dragons are not creatures that back down easily, so it's a long season. But anyway, we've got Teta Ball at number 1. Breaking Badly makes a strong comeback there. TK at number 2, and then Easy FC as well. He's also coming up there at a solid number 3 spot. And then Diogo Jots by Offense moves from number 2 and trickles hard to number 5, a hard 5, but they still did well. I mean, 51 points doesn't seem bad, but as I said, once we have the average, we'll see more or less how we're doing on this league board. And then Barcelona FC there, Tabang, doesn't really gain or lose, so that's actually a very steady one for him. It might be a horrible week for him, but I feel it's still a steady, place to be. Then me, Kepa FC, guys, I literally moved down to number 7 from number 5. Not happy with my performance. But yeah, I mean, this is a game of surprises. Anything happens. And then we see Monday there, Monday FC. Also no changes there with Monday. Also had a good week, 57 points. I feel that's also good. Sure, it's a mouthful. I think I said a lot. I'm shocked. I cannot believe it. We managed to take down TM Dragons. Now we've got Teta Ball to hate on. And yeah, like, this has been an interesting game week. I mean, TM Dragons has been cruising, guys, since game week 1. Haibo. But let's see what Mulimo had in store for us. What made him to become number 1? Right, so we're going to start from the back. Okay, we're going to start from the back. Now, his goalkeeper didn't do that much. I mean, Petrovic, he only got 2 points. So the goalkeeper, all right, 2 points is okay. And then guess who's got gay? Hey, is it gay or gay? You know, I had troubles even last week. But anyway, gay, whatever we call him. 6 points, not bad. I think I'd still be happy, even though last week he was a cracker. So that is a 6 there. And then we've got Ricardo from Arsenal with a 5, unfortunately, because he got a yellow card, so they minused 1 point. So not too lacquer there. Then this guy Mickey from Tottenham won 3-0 against West Ham. Let's break down his points. So Mickey got 2 for playing, then got 6 points because they scored a goal. Then, because Spurs got a clean sheet, they gave them 4 points, and then another bonus point, 2 bonus points, which gives them 2 points. And that's how Mickey at the back there is a 14. So looking at Molemo's back line players, I mean, that's a really nice one. I mean, we're adding the 6 and the 14, that's 20. Sorry, I'm slow with my maths. Then there's 5 plus 2, so 27 already at the back. Like, already guy is on 27. That's wild. And then we've got Anthony, where Brighton lost 2-1. Right? And Anthony got 13. Yo, if someone captained Anthony, they were lovely there. So they got 13 is they scored a goal and they got 5 points. Also the 2 points because they played. Then they got an assist, which is 3 points. And then they got 3 bonus points, which is 3 points. Nice. So, yo. Then I want to look at Salah. Salah also, if he was your captain there, my man. So that's what Teta Ball did. Salah was their captain for this week, and Salah gave them a lovely 18 points because, Liverpool won 1-0 against Burnley. Not only does Molemo have some Salah, also Haaland. Very aggressive frontline attacks. Reminds me of that interview we did with Tabang. He's not yet to play, yeah? And then Pedro also got a 7. And then a player I never thought about, Nick from Newcastle. Newcastle won 1-0 against Wolves. And Nick bagged like 9 points. So solid guys who worked. I mean, the minimum here was 3. And this 3 was from Pino Santos, who plays for Crystal Palace. Like, yeah, no. Okay, Teta Ball. We see you. Nice going. And you also used your wild card. So, for those who do not know Fantasy League and are trying to grasp everything and what is a wild card, I'll help you. So basically, a wild card is one of the chips that a Fantasy Premier League manager can use. I think we only get 2 for the whole season. You need to use that wild card, I think, before end of December, and then they'll give you another wild card, which you'll then obviously need to use before the league ends. So having a wild card, it basically allows you to have unlimited free transfers. So you might find that Teta Ball last week wasn't the squad, but then maybe Mo sat there and thought, nah, I want to be more aggressive, with the players, and maybe he bought Salah and Haaland and Zhao, and maybe that's why he's having a great week, because he can see which players will work for him for now. But basically, that's what a wildcard does. It's having unlimited free transfers. If, however, you don't use your wildcard and extend the amount of transfers that you have, for example, the max you can have, if I can remember, is 2. And you only gain 2 if you didn't use the transfer from the previous week. So basically, every week you only have one transfer. But if this week, for game week 4 or 5, I decide I don't want to use my chip for my transfers, that means the following week I'll then have 2. If you then use 2 and do more, they start deducting points. So the thing with the wild card is they don't need to deduct points. You're just using one of those chips and you can do unlimited transfers. I hope I made sense, Chipsters. Right, so congrats Mo with Teta Ball making a number 1 spot, loud and heard, with 96 points if my memory serves correctly. Let's see how long you can keep the force, because that Breaking Badly TK sounds like danger, but let's see. It seems like, even the guys that were at the bottom that we didn't know about can just do a 160, a young 160, and then the tables are shook. So as much as I don't go through all my managers on the league standings, they are there. They just didn't make the cut, didn't make the cut. I can only crop so much, so they need to work hard for us to know that there's actually still more teams that form part of eKasi league, But that's it on the league standings and diving into Ball FC. Next up, then, we're going to look at our key highlights. Right, and today I want us to start with the surprise performer. I think now everyone knows, I think I give it away, that with our thumbnail for EPL eKasi, the player that I use for every game week, the image who's on there will be the surprise performer. And I think they do deserve to form part of the thumbnail game week front cover type of vibe, because they're the player that did the most. And what I like about surprise performers is it's not the typical guys that we are expecting to lead the pack for Fantasy Premier League. And for this week, it's Arsenal. I know when you go to other social medias, everyone's just gushing on Arsenal. It's one of those clubs that are always bullied. And look, I'm a diehard Chelsea, but I feel so sorry for the Arsenal lads. A week doesn't go by without us not picking on them. They always bullied for any and everything. And I honestly think they need to do something. They need some silverware, just to die down that bullying. It's just insane. But anyway, this week, the middle fielder from Arsenal, who is the surprise performer, is Zubimendi, and I hope I pronounced that correctly. But Zubi is our surprise performer. And I'm going to tell you why. They managed to bag 16 points for game week 4, and that was the highest, by the way. That was the highest. I'm not sure if you guys checked that game, but Zubimendi did pretty well. Pretty well. And his form also looks good. He's on a 6.7 form. He's also not highly priced. He's 5.4. So these players, chances are that most managers might transfer him in for game week 5. We don't know, but as we saw with Gay, most managers, because of last week for game week 3, we see him being one of the top. I think he was a top 4 players being transferred in for this game week. So chances are Zubimendi could possibly be one of those players that most managers want to buy, because they're cheap, they're not expensive, and it gives you more capital to maybe then be able to buy a Haaland or a Salah, who seem to not be disappointing thus far as your captain. Now, next I'm going to move to the biggest flop. And the biggest flop honestly, I personally feel it always has to do about me and my squad, because I really don't track that much on how other players overall did for game week. So biggest flop will always have to do with me. And I chose the man in red, Bruno from Manchester United. It's time. I mean, last week he was coming back, but I think the problem or the biggest challenge with being a fantasy premier manager is having to have players that are consistent, because you can't have a bad week, especially for a league that's like EPL eKasi. We've got a cash prize at stake, bagging rights. There's too many banters happening on our WhatsApp group, so you need to have consistent players. So I know I've been preaching about Bruno, but this is it. It's time to go. It's time to go, and I think I'll be okay if you do the most after these weeks. But my biggest challenge, as I'm saying, is consistency. I can't have 1 week great, the other week not so much. Nah, bruh. That can't work. I mean, a 2, no way. That's how many points Bruno managed to get for game week 4. So, yeah. And then last but not least, I don't even think we need to waste too much time. The top captain for game week 4 is Mo Salah from Liverpool. Him and Haaland seem to be swapping. I believe if you have either or, you lacquer, right? So that's a very tough one for me, because I think I only have one transfer for game week 5, and I need to either take Salah or Haaland. They've been performing thus far, and we're already on game week 5 soon. So I need to join the pack and be able to back points and not stay behind, because I am eyeing the price. I need to win, guys. I need to win. But nonetheless, that's it on key highlights. Now, Chipsters, for the manager interviews, we don't just spotlight the guys sitting at the top. We've also got to hear from the brave managers grinding at the bottom too. And that's where Licious Strikers FC comes in. AB might have joined the league late, but hey, late entries can sometimes pull off the biggest surprises. Side eye. Plus, we can't ignore the fact that he's a diehard Man City fan. So the guy clearly has no shortages of confidence. Now, the big question is, will that confidence help him climb up the table, or will the strikers be struck defending from the bottom all season? Let's jump right into it and see how AB's interview went. Welcome, AB. Let's kick off with this. You joined after game week 1, already having to chase the pack. Now, what's your strategy to make up the ground and get yourself up to the top?
I started on the back foot. I think my plan is to make sure that the guys that are just above me, I'm targeting those guys like Nare. I think in this game week, I need to make sure that I get close to Nare and Silas and try to overtake them. So week by week, I will be setting myself a strategy on trying to make sure that I do topple the guys that are above me.
I see the plan taking shape already. You are targeting the guys just above you. Very calculated. But it's one thing to keep an eye, and it's another to actually make it happen. So speaking about strategy, do you feel the pressure of being at the foot of the table, or are you embracing the underdog status? Plotting in silence like Pep with the Champions League whiteboard?
I think it's a bit of both. I do feel the pressure of being at the bottom. Yes, it's not nice being at the bottom. I hate being at the bottom. I know I belong at the top there. So it's a bit of both. And I think the underdog status, yes. I think right now I'm an underdog. I think the entire team, they are looking down at me that guy's at the bottom of the chain. But definitely I'm gonna go up the chain.
Ha ha ha, I see you. A bit of pressure, but fully embracing the underdog vibes. Now, as a proud Manchester City supporter, is Haaland permanently glued to your squad sheet, or you do sometimes peek at your rivals and think, maybe I need a cheeky Salah or Saka to balance things out?
Yes, Haaland will always be in my squad. If Haaland is injury free, he will play my entire season. He's always my captain at times. He's a prolific goal scorer. That guy will definitely get me points. And I have a balanced team. So I think a balanced team will make sure that one gets enough points game week and after game week.
Yeah, no, game week after game week, making sure the points keep rolling in. That's the mark of someone who's serious about the climb. Now, what message do you want to send to the managers sitting comfy at the top, like myself? Should they start watching their backs?
The one message I have for the team is that, watch your backs. I'm coming after you guys.
Woo! There it is. AB sending out a warning loud and clear. The table might say bottom right now, but the confidence says otherwise. AB, thanks for the time and for giving us a glimpse into your game plan. For now, the message to the league is clear. Underestimate him at your own risk, because he's coming. Sure. That wraps up our game week 4. Plenty of twists and a few managers already sending out warnings to the rest of us. If you enjoyed the breakdown, make sure to like, comment and subscribe so you don't miss the next update. Until then, keep your captains bold and your transfers smarter. See you in game week 5.